Hey there. Okay, let's start this off with some good old crayon apple and some more of that early times. And hey, sometimes you know what? For a cheap, like I guess, version of Jack Daniels and its knockoff, this Kentucky whiskey isn't half bad. All right. So as I've told people before, I try putting out videos every single day, but I have an extremely crazy work schedule. So this is a couple days old, and if you already seen this, I apologize, but this does mean a lot to me because this movie's coming out on December 9th, and it's Brendan Fraser, according to all sources, probably his comeback role. And if you know anything about Brendan Fraser and his career, the man has been on some extreme highs and some extreme lows. And besides Doom Patrol, which I watched the first season, I liked it, and he's fantastic in that. But he hasn't really been in any movies in a long time. And well, you can go look up his story, and this is coming like on the internet as it is. He's obviously an older man now. He's packed on a few pounds, and he's not in the George of the Jungle shape that he once was. But still, now I said this so many times. I'm gonna send this video to some friends of mine, and I hope you do like this. But my friend Junior, he loves the show Scrubs. I love Scrubs. We watched it together at least 3 times, and everybody's talked about how comedy has basically fucking died the past decade because now that streaming services had to ban certain episodes of Scrubs because of like different makeup issues, we'll say. Same thing with Always Sunny in Philadelphia. These raunchy, funny comedy fucking shows are too offensive for certain people. But considering Scrubs is so lighthearted and it's a fucking doctor show, like goddamn. How many times have passed like shit 10 years alone, like Blazing Saddles couldn't get made today, and even Tropic Thunder. I mean, I would dare say that Tropic Thunder was like the last great fucking comedy that I've like, laughed out loud about and enjoyed in theaters. So and I've always said people like Dave Chappelle or Ricky Gervais or Bill Burr, whenever they put a special out, whenever they hit Netflix, and my friend Big Al, you're gonna see this. We talked about this recently. Every single time, freaking Netflix or streaming service hits that upload button within minutes of the fucking special coming out, there's some asshole on Twitter saying, I'm offended by something Chappelle said or Ricky said, and cancel these people. And thank God they never let it get to them. But, most of us understanding the fact that like Al Bundy could not exist in fucking 2022 is very sad, and this shit even happens right here. Now, thank God, it's like this bullshit right here doesn't affect the film coming out. It's going to come out. I hope Brendan gets every award that he's owed. And before I even get into this right here, this comes from Variety. And look right here. The film got its start at the Venice Film Festival, and the actor, look at this, a huge 6-minute standing ovation that left him in tears. The actor even tried to leave the Venice Theater at one point, but the outpouring of clapping was so loud that he stayed longer and took a bow. And Variety wrote out of Venice that The Whale will likely put Fraser at the forefront of this year's Best Actor Oscar race, and that's from Variety. But the meat of this right here is from Bounding Into Comics, and apparently a Rolling Stone critic has a fucking problem with The Whale, so now we can't even fucking make drama films with fat people. And okay, let's start this and enjoy the intro. Boy, this is some good early times. Okay, so the Rolling Stone film critic warns against seeing The Whale because it reinforces the notion that fat people have brought their suffering upon themselves through lack of coping skills. I mean, let's stop you right there. That could be debated all day. Like, look, Brendan's playing a character that's 600 pounds. You don't get to 600 pounds by accident. It's a fucking choice. And, as I sent my friend Junior this link, he loves and hates the TV show My 600 Pound Life. He's always sending me TikToks and stuff and YouTube shorts and just checking out on Facebook because he hates fat people, and he's always laughing at their misfortune. I love all comedy. I don't care if it's a black joke or a white joke or a gay joke or a fat guy falling downstairs or some big fat guy riding on a donkey and the donkey throws his fat ass off, but I'm also more empathetic and sympathetic. I understand the fact that, getting to that weight, it is a mental illness, and I'm trying not to laugh because whenever you read like an article about, some person that's so big that like the couch like fucking fuses into their skin and stuff, and like the fire department can't get them out of the house and they have to cut a hole in the wall, he laughs his ass off because it is funny, but it is sad. And this, by all accounts, is a very serious film. And this does happen, especially in our society with access to like, Uber Eats and stuff, and everything's brought to you now through Amazon and the like. And people, even during the virus, people were sitting home and gaining a fucking ton of weight. So it definitely is a mental illness. And from what I've gathered, this film is talking about the mental illness and the comeback of Brendan's character. So now she's saying that Audiences of all body shapes and sizes should avoid seeing Brendan Fraser's return to the silver screen, The Whale, because it reinforces the notion of, fat people that are objects of pity who have brought their suffering upon themselves through lack of coping skills. I mean, yeah. I mean, you could say that because they're suffering. Again, look, we all get depressed. We all have fucking bad days. I've had plenty of times, and as I've said, this is 2022. You didn't see me before my YouTube channel, but like I've already dropped 30 pounds this year, and that's a choice. But I've had plenty of days after a breakup, after a fucking death, after like a job like fires you or something. Who doesn't come home and just like, cry and drink too much and maybe eat a fucking entire like bag of Doritos or something, or like fucking mow down a whole like, Little Caesars pizza or something, and it happens. But it's a choice you make that keep doing that, keep being a victim, or move on. And it truly is, though, a lack of coping skills. I mean, we all have different ways we cope. I choose to drink a lot, and I mostly drink diet soda now. But now I always have trouble with this guy's name. But directed by Darren Aronofsky, the film creator behind such esoteric and surrealist psychological thrillers as Pi and Black Swan. Okay, good movies. And adapted from the play of the same name by Samuel D. Hunter. The Whale follows struggles of Charlie, who is Fraser, a 600-pound man who, after years of shutting himself inside and binge eating to cope with his guilt over leaving his family for his late mistress, attempts to turn his life around. Started by reconnecting with his now 17-year-old daughter. So off the bat, look, this is a comeback story. The man fucked up, cheated on his wife, destroyed his family, and how to deal with his guilt, he started eating, and I said, I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm not here to say, like, if you drink too much or eat too much or smoke too much fucking weed or something, this is his story. This is the premise of the movie. And so, okay. Now, making its debut at the Venice Film Festival for 2022, the latest film has found a generally favorable reception, amongst critics, as seen in both its taking home of the aforementioned events Premio Cinema Sara. Okay, sorry guys. But the award, it's also got 77% fresh and 64 out of 100 ratings on Rotten Tomatoes across 39 reviews. So, okay, whatever. Now, one critic who did not find herself pleased with her time with The Whale was Rife, who took to Twitter, big shock, right? Following her attendance of the film's premiere to let her followers know that she could not recommend in good conscience that fat people watch The Whale. Okay. I mean, I'm fat, I'm going to watch The Whale, so I can't recommend skinny people watch it either. She said, since it reinforces the notion that fat people are objects. Yeah, we get that part. So, continuing, she goes, massive red flags for ED, which is erectile dysfunction?
I have erectile dysfunction.
No, I guess it's eating disorder. Yeah, where's my head at? But fat phobia.
Do you hate fat people?
The main character endures over an hour of the cruelest verbal abuse imaginable and later tries to commit suicide by food. Okay.
Try a salad.
Part of the film. It doesn't mean it's like, fucking saying fat phobia and stuff and endorsing that, but like this is his character's journey. So I have dealt with bulimia and binge eating disorder on and off for years and found it incredibly triggering.
I was triggered.
Okay, so then the fucking film isn't for you. I mean, there's some people, I've known people that have like had miscarriages. They can't watch like, certain films. I've known people that have been raped and even molested. Certain films and certain scenes, they can't, watch that because there's rape scenes. Like remember, what was it? Back in the 90s, it was Kiefer Sutherland and I can't remember her name now, but sorry, it's Eye for an Eye with Sally Field, and basically Kiefer's character rapes and kills her daughter, and it's a big revenge tale. But that scene back then was very brutal, even for me as a teenager watching this. Like, good acted, and it was horrible, but like somebody who's a victim of rape probably wouldn't like that scene, but maybe understand the fact that the entire film was about a mother getting revenge over the death of her daughter. So, but because you may have had bulimia, don't sit there and tell people that I can't recommend this to anybody. You could just say that, the film, because of my own personal issues, isn't for me. But, we can't stop there, right? So you can tell that no actual fat peoples were involved in a production because of a major plot point where the protagonist is dying but refuses to go to the hospital even though he has money to pay the bills. She further decreed, whatever. But right there, some people do want to die. If some people are suicidal, and I've known this through my own personal life experiences and stuff, that if you want to die, no one's going to fucking save you. If you want to take your own life, people, it's going to happen, unfortunately. That's the cold, hard reality of the situation. So,
okay, life sucks.
Sit there and say, like, where he's dying but refuses to go to the hospital, maybe because he's ashamed, maybe he obviously doesn't want to live, and just he gave up on life. It happens more often than not, and it's going to make, for me, going into this, it makes me want to see it that much more because I've dealt with my own times where it's like, sometimes getting out of bed's a bitch. Sometimes just getting into the fucking shower, get ready for work. It's, I get it. I'm not here to judge anybody. But her anger towards the film boiling over, she then declared, "The movie treats this as a combination of selflessness and suicidality, never considering the very obvious reason why a 650-pound person would avoid doctors. It's called medical fat phobia, you absolute pricks." Okay, it's not medical fat phobia, it's called you're fucking fat and you have to lose weight. And I'm gonna, like I said, Big Al's gonna see this.
Reliable, friendly, portly, Big Al.
My friend is called Big Al. We call him Big Al for a reason. Maybe like a year ago, Al, you probably know this on our podcast. He made the joke, but he's seen a doctor. This doctor, people like her would obviously be offended. She'd probably get the guy's fucking license taken away and like sue him for malpractice or some shit. Al goes to see his doctor and he goes, "Listen, I'm checking your cholesterol. Cholesterol's through the fucking roof, okay? You got high blood pressure. You're fat."
Boy, are you fat.
He's like, you're like one cheeseburger away from losing a fucking foot. You know what you need to do? Get on a fucking treadmill, start eating some goddamn salads, get your shit together, because next time I see you, you're probably gonna be a fucking corpse. And Al's like, "You know what, Chris? This doctor said everything I needed to fucking hear. It may have sounded mean to some people, it may have came off as cruel, but you know what? Hey, I've been like, hitting the freaking Stairmaster and stuff. I've been dropping fucking weight. My levels are coming down and stuff. Sometimes you gotta be fucking told, yo, you're 650 goddamn fucking pounds. Any doctor's gonna tell you you're fat, okay? It's extremely fucking unhealthy. No human being should weigh 650 pounds. And I don't want to hear this bullshit which some people try saying, oh, it's a medical disorder, and bullshit.
Bullshit.
It's not a medical disorder when you sit there and fucking mow down 20 Whoppers and like 5 large cheese pizzas 7 days a goddamn week, lady. So, now, please excuse the typos. I'm really feeling like shit after that viewing experience. She lamented. There's a scene where the main character drops a key and can't pick it up. And people were laughing. Like, okay, it's probably funny as fuck, Again, I'm gonna laugh at, if I see a fat guy drop a key and he can't pick it up, maybe he should be fucking laughed at. Maybe he should be embarrassed. Maybe it's to the fucking point, like, goddamn, I can't even sit down and pick up a key. Like, I've seen these fucking videos, These people cannot, like, they cannot take a fucking shower. Like, there's been videos where they go outside and their partner has to fucking take, like, hoses outside and hose them down. Like, and my one friend's gonna laugh, my one friend's gonna cringe about this, but yeah, like, at what point are you so fucking embarrassed and ashamed of yourself where you're like, yo, I gotta start fucking losing weight, Go see doctor now.
I don't think the surgery is working like it should. It just doesn't make sense.
What you're saying is what doesn't make sense.
Those clips are epic because, yeah, it's like, how much more embarrassing does your life have to be where it's like, people were laughing, yeah, and maybe they fucking should.
You should be ashamed.
Maybe the point of this fucking film is this character, this horrible shit happens where he's like, damn, I gotta get my shit together, and like re-establish my relationship with my fucking daughter and be a better father and maybe make amends to my ex-wife for cheating on her, He's obviously fucking going through guilt, and instead of fucking facing his guilt, instead of facing his demons and his trauma, he turns to fucking food. But
eat too much, you're gonna get fat.
That could be said with anything. Alcohol, it could be said with any kind of substance, People, it happens a lot more often than you think. But drawing her cautionary thread to a close, she, despite her numerous issues with the film, could not deny that, yes, Brendan Fraser is very good. Of course he is. Brendan's always fucking good.
He's good. Yeah, he's
good.
Always.
But she admittingly, most of the humanity, sensitivity, sympathy in the movie comes from his performance because, yeah. But right here, The Whale makes its general theatrical debut on December 9th, which I will be going to see this movie, and I'm going to fucking review it. And, the whole 5 idiots of you watching this shit, I'm going to be fair. I mean, if I like it, I'll say I like it. If it sucks, I'll say it sucks.
I am hard, but I am fair.
But the premise is, you're coming after fucking Brendan in this entire film because, like, it's fat phobia, making fun of people, and, lady, get the fuck over it, okay? Seriously, just calm down with this shit. If you dealt with bulimia, that's your issue, not on the fucking film. This film seems to have, like, by all accounts, a very good heart to it. Glad to see Brendan. I mean, the man got a 6-minute standing ovation and was brought to fucking tears, and then took a bow.
Yeah, take a bow.
So what is the fucking problem? So what are we supposed to do? Like, obviously these people, again, pop on television, pop on my 600-pound life for, like, my 1-ton sisters and shit. These people, they do exist. So how do you make a movie about these people and not make a movie about these people. It sounds like hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy.
If the film isn't for you, just say, hey, it's not for you. I've seen films that are not for me. I'm trying reviewing films that are not for me. They're just not my pace. They're just not my genre. But I wouldn't say, like, whatever, Black Panther 2 may come out, and I'm not going to say, it wasn't for me, but you shouldn't fucking see it. Like, no, maybe it's just not in my wheel, There's plenty of artsy, art house type films that are just like, I'm more action, I want to go see Avatar. I want to see, like, James Bond blowing stuff up or big Transformers destroying cities and shit. But I can respect a movie like this because sometimes you do want to sit down and have a good message and just have a very good human story. So, but right here, you're slamming because it's like, it reinforces this notion. Well, yeah, it is. I'm sorry. Like, it's people have medical conditions like bulimia or anorexia, but getting 650 pounds, that is,
You have a choice.
so get pissed off, but oh well. But yeah, news article. I'm going to send this to my friends, try to make these guys laugh, and hopefully, as a dear viewer, making you laugh. But yeah, it's like, lady, whatever. I'm going to see the movie, so all I can say is, fuck off.
Fuckface. First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face!
But yeah, so let me finish my good old luck. Let's see, early times here in Cranberry, and as usual, God, I'm always low on time. But let me pull out Bender and finish this, and, well, enjoy it.
This calls for a drink.
Some great early times. And I'm going to edit this, but I'm heading back to work and then hopping on a treadmill.